What up, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we love to talk about crowdfunding and how that can work into your life. We also talk about backers. What does this mean for someone who's backing a crowdfunding campaign? And today I really want to answer the question, is Indiegogo legitimate? Is Indiegogo.com, this website you maybe come across before online, is this legitimate? Is it nefarious? Is it something that you really can't trust whatsoever? I'm going to be talking about that for real today and really getting very transparent about this, and hopefully explaining this in two ways. So at the end of this video, you can make a decision on this yourself. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, my name is Sal. Let's get into it right now. All right, man, so I am on your side here. And really one of the things I want to talk about, aside from getting more into Indiegogo and whether or not this is legitimate, is really understanding what does that even word mean, legitimacy. So legitimacy to me is a lot tied to scams, right? It's a lot tied to, can you trust someone? Is this really legitimate, right? When it comes to this, if you're trying to doctor something, or I don't know, you're trying to forge something, is this actually authentic? Is it real? Is it a scam? Those are the kinds of questions that I want to answer in today's video. So first of all, to talk about Indiegogo, I got started in the crowdfunding industry back in 2012, so I do have a good understanding of how a lot of these platforms have kind of built up over time. And I want to draw your attention to a couple of different things you should be aware of, beware, before you actually go on Indiegogo and either raise money yourself or back an Indiegogo campaign. So the first thing is that Indiegogo is, by its very nature, a crowdfunding website. So when it comes to that, there are different people out there that are trying to raise money to get a product into its next stage, right? So for example, from a backer's perspective or a consumer's perspective, it's not like you're going out there and you're buying something on Amazon, which is going to be delivered to you in 2 days time, right? I'm an Amazon Prime member. I love that aspect. And sometimes even the next day, like it's insane. It's like magic. You just snap your fingers, right? And you get those packages coming in, whatever it is that you need. I'm usually always looking for books. I'm always in the hunt for different books. I'm trying to expand my knowledge and that kind of stuff. Whatever you need, that works very easily with Amazon. With Indiegogo, the way that it works is that when you are buying a product, it's more of like you're pre-ordering it. So the funds that you're actually putting into that are being used to actually manufacture the product on a larger scale. And there's different types of campaigns that are out there, but most generally, that's kind of what's happening. So when you back a campaign, you're probably not going to be receiving that product for an extended duration, depending on the fulfillment timeline. So it's more like you're actually buying a product or pre-ordering a product from an inventor, someone who really needed to get this product to the next stage, and they're putting this out there for pre-order. They can assess demand and also see, do they want to bring this to the next stage? If you're really supporting an artist, a creator, an inventor, it's going directly to the development of the product, and then you get that product which shows up on your doorstep. And how freaking cool is that experience? So that's the first thing that you should realize when you think about legitimacy, is that it doesn't operate in the same way as Amazon, right? And also you have a particular agreement with that particular founder, not with Indiegogo itself. So you can look more into the terms itself of Indiegogo, but first of all, the first thing you should take away is that when you are buying a product on Indiegogo, you're actually not buying it. It's more of you're backing that, or you're pre-ordering it, and you're going to get it at a future point in time. The second thing is that yes, there have been crowdfunding scams that are out there. So the question is like, what about, Sal? What happens if I support this campaign and then people take my money and they run and they never actually deliver on their product? That has happened before in crowdfunding history. And for anyone who actually cares about the crowdfunding industry, like myself, I have a podcast out there, I have my YouTube channel, I have books out there about crowdfunding. I care about the power of the crowdfunding community and the fact of its legitimacy. And I think that Indiegogo also started to notice this as well. So they've taken a couple of initiatives to kind of help prevent this. So one of those is the Indiegogo Trust Proven Program, which you can actually learn more about by looking at my YouTube channel and going and searching that term. But the Indiegogo Trust Proven Program is a great program out there that basically helps you certify certain types of creators that are on the platform. And you can actually see, do they have a history of successfully delivering on the products which they've invented? Are you supporting a brand that has actually done this before? They've been able to bring an idea to market and they've been able to manufacture it that way. That's one way, in my opinion, that Indiegogo is working to combat some of the different scams that maybe are out there. In addition, I think there's really just some basic things you should be aware of. Number one is being aware of realistic fulfillment timelines. Looking and learning a little bit about the creator who actually started this campaign. Looking through the campaign as well and seeing how much of the product have they gotten to? Have they created the prototype? Is this just an idea in someone's head? Is it even getting to the pre-production prototype stage? Where is that prototype? What might be some of the obstacles? And typically as well, even doing a quick search of the creator can be extremely useful for you as a backer. So these are different questions that you should be thinking about, but I would say that there is absolutely no guarantee necessarily that you are going to get this product at the end of the day. However, However, creators must make their best attempt to actually get it into your hands, or they might be subject to legal ramifications. So something that you should be aware of there, and also just getting an idea of this person's history if they've done campaigns before. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillment is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillment today. Link in the description. Another element that I like about Indiegogo that I do think that adds to its legitimacy is the fact that they reserve funds. So I'm just going to read this out loud. What are reserve funds and what is that policy? Indiegogo says, we've created the reserve funds policy to make processing refunds easier for both campaign owners and backers. Refunds are a reality of every campaign and most online experiences as well. Sometimes backers make mistakes on their contribution or they simply change their minds. While Indiegogo has a refund policy that applies in limited circumstances to all campaigns on their platform, many campaign owners want to be able to offer refunds after their campaign ends or when our refund policy does not apply. Thus, they've created this thing which are reserve funds. So once your campaign hits 1,000 in your currency, 5% of those funds raised will automatically be held in reserve. And the amount of reserve funds will increase as you keep raising. So reserve funds are kept at 5% of the current total funds raised. So what does this mean? This basically means that it's easier for creators to actually do a refund. To read on further, at the end of the initial 6-month period, we will evaluate your campaign according to the below factors to determine whether we will disperse the entire reserve funds amount to you or continue to hold any funds remaining in reserve for you to address a continued need for refunds and any other liabilities associated with refunds and chargebacks. So these reserve funds are meant to protect creators from themselves, but also to protect backers as well. So you can all look up that policy if you want to more in your own time, as well as the policy as it relates to refunds and those kinds of things. But I do think that one thing that I should say here is that Indiegogo is taking concrete steps in order to help improve the actual perceived legitimacy of the platform. So it's obviously super secure from a financial perspective with SSL certificates and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the actual perceived legitimacy, I do think this is a great step in the right direction. Another element of legitimacy is actually when it comes to when you order something, what happens from there. So I think that this is actually one of the most unique components of crowdfunding and something I want to talk about when it comes to legitimacy. So this really has to do with refunds, okay? So when you're doing a Indiegogo campaign as a creator, your campaign is open for a certain duration of time. That could be 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, whatever it is, right? During that time, backers can actually support the campaign and they can claim those perks and rewards, which they're eventually going to get once the campaign is over. Up until the point when it's over, there are certain policies that Indiegogo has when it comes to a backer or a consumer. So this is basically the 3 reasons under their policies in which refunds can occur. So backers contribute to campaigns, owners not to Indiegogo. However, Indiegogo is able to refund your contribution before any of the following occur. Number 1, the contribution funds were dispersed to the campaign owner. So they can refund your contribution before the funds have been dispersed to the campaign owner. Number 2, the campaign ends. So before the campaign ends, you can get a refund on the amount that you have actually supported a Indiegogo campaign. But again, that's before the campaign ends. So you'd have to request a refund at that point. Number 3, the perk is locked. So before the perk is locked, you can get a refund, which means that the campaign owner has indicated a perk is ready for shipment or shipped by the campaign owner. Once the campaign is over, then all of those requests have to be rerouted to the actual campaign owner. So in terms of legitimacy, you basically are part of this experience or this campaign launch or this ongoing campaign for a certain duration of time. And during that experience, you can obviously receive a refund. After that point in time, it's almost like the obligation shift from Indiegogo itself as a platform to the campaign creator themselves, whether that's an LLC, a corporation, an individual, and their refund policy then begins to apply there. So again, the legitimacy aspect kind of shifts if you want to say, is this campaign platform legitimate versus is this creator who's then offering this opportunity to be able to support the campaign, is that creator actually legitimate, right? So the question of legitimacy changes from the platform, which is Indiegogo, to then is this individual who's running this campaign and now the onus on them for refunds or to process returns or to do customer service, that's really then their obligation. Then the question becomes, becomes, is that person legitimate or is that company legitimate? So I hope that at this point in the video, you at least understand a little bit more about the intention of the Indiegogo platform, where it may be considered legitimate or not, and also sometimes how the perspective of, for example, a consumer who maybe has a poor experience with the creator of a campaign versus the platform itself, how that might differ. So the legitimacy is a little bit of a gray area in that way. However, I would say that when it comes to providing a platform, Indiegogo is an incredibly legitimate platform that has been around for a very long time, has great security, etc. And they do have obviously a team as well working at that platform. When it comes to individual creators who then launch campaigns on that platform, that is a different question. And that's really something that really is about researching and looking through that actual creator, being aware of their history, their past, the things I talked about earlier in this video. That's really a different question of legitimacy. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, give me a thumbs up if you found this to be useful or helpful in thinking about this in a more clear way. In addition, come subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more about Indiegogo, crowdfunding, supporting campaigns, creating your own campaign maybe someday. Hope that you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment down below if you do want to learn more. I got some links in the description if you do want to take some action there, you want to educate yourself more when it comes to crowdfunding and learn more about how this can work for you. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. Again, my name is Salvador Briggman, and I will see you next time.